Hey YouTubers, this is Bob Hickman. I gotta tell you, I always say it's good to be back with you, but today I mean it like never before. I really am so glad to be here with all of you. And I say, why? What are you so excited about just us? Well, you see, I almost didn't make it here. I have been sick for the last 2 days, well actually about 3 days. And I think I literally almost died. I was bitten by a brown recluse spider. For those of you who live in the United States, you may know that's one of our indigenous, most deadly spiders. It's interesting. Back last, Thursday, when I put up the horoscopes video, I think it happened that night. I was in bed, and it felt like a spider run across my leg. And I jumped up because I don't like spiders. Turned on the lights, flipped the blankets off. I didn't see anything, but I clearly felt a spider on my body. And I thought, well, that's freaky. I shook out the blankets, checked around the floor, didn't see anything. So I was like, well, good, it's gone. Probably just a little house spider. Well, I went back to bed. Now, the next day I got up on Friday, and felt just a little tired. Nothing bad, just tired. I didn't sleep well, I was a little tired. Throughout the day, though, I started feeling a little restless. I couldn't concentrate. I was trying to write, do some writing, and I was going to work on a video. I just didn't have concentration. I didn't feel good. I said, well, I will do it tomorrow. Well, then Saturday comes around, and I get up, and I start feeling even more like listless, not sick. Now, this is what's strange about it. It didn't feel like the flu. So I didn't think, oh, I'm getting sick. I got the flu. I just felt not focused. I felt kind of a little lightheaded. I felt like I just couldn't focus. Like sitting down trying to read, it just was too much. I couldn't focus on anything. And I started not having any appetite. Well, that evening, I started having on my back, if I can't show you here, but back basically on the back part of my hip on the right side, a little down right above the buttock where the buttock and the hip meet, I had a pimple. And I said, ow, what is that? It looks like an ingrown hair. Well, I was scratching it. Well, then it actually burst and like water went over my hand. Well, it didn't really hurt. And I thought, well, it's just a blister, or, pimple blister. And I cleaned it up and just forgot about it. Well, that night I went to bed and was still feeling not quite myself. Well, I woke up on Sunday and I was like literally like partially paralyzed. I couldn't literally sit up. And I live alone, so it was a very scary experience. And after a little while, I finally got myself up. And when I stood up, I immediately fell over. I started having vertigo. I was like, whoa. I thought I probably just slept on my neck wrong or twisted and was just lightheaded. Still didn't think it was anything that serious. Then I went into the shower, and that little pimple on my back was still itching. And when I went to lift my shirt up to look at it, it had grown into a giant welt, blood red and black, about that big. It's really gross. I'm not going to show you the picture. I tried to take a photo of it, but I was so ill, guys, I couldn't even get the camera. It's not a very good picture. So what I'll do, if you want to know what this looked like, I'll put a link below with some pics that look like what I experienced. They're very similar. Well, I knew what it was because right in the middle it was 2 little fang marks. Now, I'm not a fan of spiders, but interestingly, in the last few years, I've worked on letting go of my phobia of spiders to where now I can be around them without having anxiety. I still don't like them, but I'm not terrified, but I knew what it was. It appeared to me to be the bite of a brown recluse. Brown recluse is a very, as I said, very venomous, deadly spider here in the United States. It's literally equivalent like a black widow. There's black widow, and then there's brown recluse. And from what I've researched, I think I'd have rather been bitten by a black widow because their bite is not, even though it's severe, is a different type of severe. The brown recluse, when it bites you, it literally destroys the tissue where it bites, and it creates massive damage to the nerves and the skin. I have been so far, knock on wood, lucky in that my wound has not what they call ulcerated. If it gets to the infection gets too bad, it will literally destroy the skin and create an open wound that then requires emergency surgery. I've been praying and watching, it hasn't done that. But in the meantime, even before I got to that fear, I was so ill I started vomiting. And I realized then that I was pretty sure it was a brown recluse and the toxins were in my system. Well, I didn't know what to do. You know, as I said, I live alone. I thought, do I want to go to the hospital? Well, I started looking up stuff about the brown recluse, and I found out I really can't do much for it because there's no anti-venom for brown recluse. I knew it wasn't black widow because the markings are different between the bites. If it had been a black widow, they could have given me a I guess like a neurotoxin. But depending on who you are, you know, some people will react mildly. Some people get bit by a brown recluse and just like a bug bite and it goes away. But for some people, it goes to the next stages. And mine went to the stage where I was so sick I started vomiting. Well, I called a pharmacist to ask him what I could put on it, if it would help to put medicine, at the site of the wound. And he said, well, Neosporin's okay. Take Benadryl for the itching. And he said, you know, if it starts to ulcerate, of course you have to go to the doctor. And he said, basically, there's nothing they can do other than clean it and monitor it. You know, so I decided not at that point to go to the hospital, even though I was really sick. And I did find out from different medical sites that the sickness is actually kind of part of the course. But, you know, it is pretty severe. Well, I didn't feel good, and I took my medicine, you know, and I just tried to lay down. Well, I discovered that when I laid down, if I put any pressure on my back or my head, I instantly went in vertigo. Felt like I was having a stroke, and I would go into severe convulsions and vomiting. So I couldn't lay down. And the only way I had peace was to literally sit like I'm sitting now without moving. So that was okay. When I tried to walk, I would get vertigo and I'd fall over. People on the street must have thought I was drunk. Because at one point I went out to get some medicine and I couldn't walk. I fell into a tree. I noticed the people on the street thought, that guy's drunk, which I looked like it. But I was pretty damn sick at that point. Well, I just was in a bad state. So I came home, put the medicine on, you know, took my pills, and I didn't get better. In fact, I got worse. I think that I started to get neurotoxin in my brain because I started if I would literally take my hand, touch my face like that, just touching my face would send me into vertigo and I would literally fall over. And then I would start vomiting. It was the weirdest thing. If I just touched even my hair, I couldn't comb my hair. If I touched my hair, I would fall over vomiting. A strange experience. It got so bad, it was about 1 in the morning, and I thought, I'm going to die. I need to go to the hospital. But I was so weak, I thought all I want to do is sleep. So I went to my altar, and I thought, you know, I really need to pray. And I lit some candles, and I found when I was kneeling at my altar's on the floor, I usually sit on the floor, but I was kind of in a kneeling position, because that's the only way I felt balanced. I was starting to pray. I said, Great Mother, help me. And then something really miraculous happened. And I know a lot of you aren't going to believe. Now, I know people here will, but probably people not part of Spirit Channel will not believe this, but I don't really care because it really happened. When I was praying, there was a flash of light in my room. It was so bright, it was like a camera flash. And then I had a vision of the Virgin Mary. There was a bright light in front of me. And then I saw the Virgin Mary in silhouette step in front of the lights, like she blocked the light. And all the light was radiating around her. And as many of you know, I've always believed that the Virgin Mary is a representation of the goddess. So this was not weird for me that I saw her as the Virgin Mary. It was very comforting, in fact. And I literally, guys, I know this sounds crazy, I literally heard her voice, and she said to me, I am with you. Do not be afraid. And she said, I'm giving you the scapular to wear. You must wear a scapular. Now, just so you know, I'm going to probably do a whole nother video on the scapular, but scapular is a cloth medal. Some of you who have been Catholic may know this. I've always loved scapulars, even though I'm a Wiccan. I still believe in the scapular. This is a powerful charm, in my opinion. But it's a cloth medallion. It has a front flap and a flat back line. You just wear it over you like this. One part hangs in the front, one part hangs in the back. And it's to represent the cloak of the Virgin Mary. It's a protective device. When the scapular's on, you're literally wrapped in Mary's cloak and safe. And in this vision that I had while I was at my altar, she put a scapular. She says, I'm giving you the scapular. You must wear the scapular. So I had scapulars in my house. So I took that literally that I also need to physically wear a scapular. So I got one of my scapulars and I put it on. And I stood there and I kept feeling her. And guys, I literally had a voice. It was an audible voice talking to me. And it said, you must not sleep tonight. You're in danger. And if you sleep, things will get worse. So I said, Mary, I'm so tired. What am I supposed to do? She said, you must go walking. I said, walking? This is crazy. And at this point, I'm about to dismiss all this because I think it's so insane. Here I am freaking dying. I can't even stand. I can't touch my face without having convulsions. And she's telling me not to sleep and to walk all night. Well, at that point, I was so desperate. I thought this, and I knew that she was present. Her voice was so clear to me. So I literally took my walking staff, wearing my scapular, and at 1 in the morning, I went outside and I started walking. And I walked, and she told me, and she was with me the whole time. She said, keep walking. You must not rest tonight. You must walk. And I walked for probably 3 hours. I was so ill. I literally had to stop and support myself on trees or buildings to stand up. I sat a little bit, but every time I'd sit, the whole nausea and the vertigo would start. And so if I'd stand, then I was okay. So she told me, keep walking, I'm with you. And I walked for like 3 hours. And then I came home, and she said, you can't sleep yet. So I still stayed up walking around my apartment. And then around 7, I was still up, and I went and got some food. I was actually strangely enough hungry. I hadn't been hungry all day, but I finally had hunger, and she said, you should eat now. So I went up to the McDonald's, and I just got a little hash brown to eat. I didn't want a lot. And I ate that. And then I came home, and Mary, you have to understand this presence was still, Mary told me, you can rest now. Well, I was a little leery because every time I tried to rest, the pressure touching my head or face was sending me into these convulsions of vomiting and vertigo. So I took it slowly, and I started to lay down on my bed. And I found that the pain in the head had stopped. And I don't remember anything else. I literally passed out. Well, I slept for about 5 hours, and I woke this afternoon, about 12:30, 1 o'clock. And when I woke up, which is today, I was totally healed. I still have my scapular on. I am amazed because from what I've read about these spider bites, it's very serious, and you generally don't recover so easily. I probably should have gone to the hospital, but at the time I was so confused and I wasn't thinking straight. All I knew was to do what she told me. Mary said, walk, walk, walk. She said, if I go to the hospital, and I said, well, should I go to the hospital? And I heard her say, if you go to the hospital, you'll have to lie down, stay walking. So I didn't go, and I trusted her. And she said, continue to wear your scapular. And I did, and I made it through. And I'm here, and I'm healed. And the terrible mark of the spider bite is also starting to heal, and it's not ulcerated. Thank you, God. Because if it ulcerated, I would have to go have surgery, and it's very serious because if it can enter the bloodstream, it'll kill you. So I am here, and I just want to share that with you guys. Also, I was going to show you, I took the scapular off I was wearing. This is the scapular I wore all night while I was walking. I'm going to save it as a memory of that night. I put it in this little box. It's like a little reliquary case because I believe this is the scapular that Mary used to heal me. So I don't want to lose it. So I put on another one. I'm still wearing it. But it's a miracle. And, I know there's going to be somebody, there always is, haters want to come on and say, oh, you're under the influence of drugs, you're under the influence of poison, it's all a delusion. I say, I don't care what you say. I know that she was with me. And I know there are going to be some Wiccans say, well, that couldn't have happened because, it wasn't Isis, it wasn't Diana, it was Mary. Well, as I always say, the Great Mother, she comes in many forms. And in your time of need, she'll come to you in the way that you need her. For me, she came as Mary. So I've always loved Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and that's how she came to me. So I don't want to hear from you haters. Some of you are going to try to knock me. Some fundy Christians, Catholics will say, well, that was evil. It was a demon. I don't believe that. If you knew the love that she showed me, you would understand that it was real. And some of you said, well, who are you? You think you're holy? No. All I know is that in my time of need, I asked for help and I received it. Anybody can receive it when they need it. And I'm not the only one who've had these visions. But anyways, I'm here and I'm alive and I feel really good today. A little tired still, but nothing like I was. The nausea's gone. I can walk again. I was really so ill. I couldn't walk. I lost coordination. But I did, against as crazy as that, I did what the voice told me. Mary told me, I could not say, that's what I wanted more than anything. I just wanted to lay down and try to get some rest. And she said, you must not lay down. If you lay down, there'll be further danger for you. And I listened to her. And it worked, and I'm healed. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm still a Wiccan. I haven't become Catholic. I don't have any interest in being a Catholic these days. But I do believe that the Great Mother, the goddess, also takes the form of Mary at times. And she worked with me as Our Lady of Mount Carmel. You don't have to be Catholic to wear the brown scapular. There are many Catholic books that say anybody can wear the scapular. Christian, non-Christian, pagan, Catholic, Protestant, doesn't matter. So I choose to wear the brown scapular now, and I look at it as a sign of the Great Mother. It's her cloak of protection. And I tell you, in my dark hour, I needed her cloak, and she wrapped me in her cloak. I'll never forget this, I'll tell you that. And I'm going to keep this shrine, my little relic, to the brown scapular, because that's the scapular that I put on when she started speaking to me. And that's the scapular I wore through the worst of it until I was healed this morning. So anyways, I don't care whether anybody believes it or not. I know it's true. Anyways, guys, I'm going to put up here some pictures of the Blessed Mother. This is a little prayer card I was also praying. And you can see that's a picture of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. This form of Mary, she wears brown because it's a long story, but the Order of Carmel, which is a mystic order, wears these brown robes. So this is the sign of her color. You usually see Mary in blue and white, but as Our Lady of Mount Carmel, it's very distinct. She wears brown. And hence the brown scapular as representative of her brown robes. So, anyways, I want to share that, guys. I hope you'll be open to that. And some of you may think saying about it really lost it. Maybe I have, but hey, I'm still here and I'm still doing my thing. And I'm thanking God I'm with you today, and thanking Goddess. So, anyways, keep it here, guys. We're going to have more videos this week. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me see how my healing goes. I'm feeling pretty good, so we're going to do some more, but I don't know yet what I'm going to be up to. I'm trying not to overdo it. Even though I'm very much healed, I still want to be a little gentle to make sure that I'm all the way healed. So be patient with me, but I'll be back. I'm going to try to be back here on Thursday this week, and we'll have more. So keep it here. Listen, thanks for being here and listening. If you're new, subscribe. I'd love you to be part of our channel here. And hope you'll like this, favorite, share it. Comments in the box below. Tell me, guys, have you ever been in a time of crisis? Really, this is a really bad time of crisis. I thought I was dying. And ever asked for help, ever prayed to a god or goddess and actually had an experience during that time? I'd love to hear your experiences. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you soon. And remember the brown scapular. You might want to check it out. Blessings to you.